Hey everyone, I'm Jess Birken with Birken Law Office. With me today is Jen Jambor-Delgado. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
Sorry. That's awesome. Hey!
Start that over. Sorry. I'm terrible at starting.
I think that's hilarious. You can't just do start over. Like, that could have been great. Like, we're being our authentic selves. Like, just let it roll.
All right.
Yeah, you can be like, hey!
Oh,
it's okay to be funny.
All right.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Jen is here because she is a trademark whiz, and Jen and I both work with emerging organizations, startups, founders, people starting businesses. You're in the food space, I'm in the nonprofit space. There's a lot of overlap between the issues that you have when you're just starting out, whether you're for-profit or nonprofit.
Absolutely.
So in this video, we are going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that get made around trademark when you're a startup. And so I believe, if I've got my list right, that the first mistake is getting your heart set on a name too early.
Yes, and investing resources in developing your whole brand identity around that name. So something I see a lot is clients will come to me and say, okay, I've locked down this great name. I hired a graphic designer. I've got my website. I've got my logo. I've got all the design work done and the collateral, product labels. Everything's ready. Now let's trademark. And, yeah. And then we go to search and somebody else has already trademarked that same name or a very similar name in connection with similar products. And they can't trademark the name they've invested all this time and money in. And beyond that, it's like it is a heartbreak, right?
Yeah.
People they've fallen in love with the name and the whole story they've built around their brand. And then they can't have it.
The pro tip here is call your attorney early and often when you're starting, and don't go running down the road with your name before you call for trademark help.
Yep. A good rule of thumb is have 3 names you're interested in and call the attorney before you build everything around any of those names.
Okay, so then our second mistake is not doing the right due diligence before you trademark. Can you talk a little bit about that, Jen?
Sure. This is really related to the falling in love too fast thing, because before you fall in love with a name, what you need to do is make sure that name's available. So that typically happens through a search, and a lot of people like to search for themselves, and I think that's a great self-help technique. However, I also think people tend to be optimistic about how they interpret their search results, right? So sometimes all clients will say, I searched this, it's totally available. And in their mind, they're thinking there's no exact match for the name I want to use on the same exact products. But that's not all that comes into play when you're looking to see whether you can register a mark. So really having a thorough search done and then analyzing those results. And you're best to have someone else analyze the results for you, because again, we're going to veer towards optimism because already we're a little in love with the name.
Yeah,
right?
We're a little infatuated with the name, and just because our exact name is available, that's not the only. And I've definitely seen clients do this where they're like, well, I looked in the test database and it's not there, and I was like, that's not the only factor. So that's great advice. Yeah. The third reason that we have is either not filing or late filing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this is another thing that comes up, especially I see it a lot with clients in the food space who are bootstrapping. So limited startup resources, and you have to decide where you're going to spend your money and your time and your effort. And so they think, okay, I'm just going to see if this business even works, and then I'll trademark. And I totally see the merit in that approach, frankly, and I've also seen it go wrong for people. And so the business does work, and then they're like, yay, I have a great business, now I'm ready to trademark and lock down all of my IP and everything. And when they go to do it, someone's gotten there before them. And with trademark filings, it's whoever's first in line is going to have the most chance at succeeding with their application. Later filers are going to end up having their application blocked and not being able to register. So there's sort of this balance between moving too fast before you've done due diligence, but also once you've done that and you've done a search and you've done an analysis, move.
Strike while the iron is hot. Don't sit around and do other things, which is really easy to do, because when you're starting a business, whether that's nonprofit or for-profit, there's a lot to do. So this is like one of those things where I know it kind of gets like, oh, I'll deal with that later, and then time's ticking and somebody has swooped in and like taken your name. Okay, so fourth mistake that startups make with Trademark is not really being clear on who owns the brand, right?
Absolutely. And this comes up, I think, a lot when people are collaborating. So it can be two different businesses that want to co-brand something maybe, or two nonprofits that are working on a project together and develop a bunch of great naming or logos or things like that around the project or around the product that people are working on together. And somebody's got to own those things, and the question is, who? And sometimes people get really into doing the work because that's what you like to do. You want to build your nonprofit and its programs. You want to build your cool food business. And it's fun collaborating with people. But it's also,
it's the kind of thing where people are coming in and they're like, oh, I love you, you love me, we're going to do this together. Everything feels so good. It's amazing. And then 6 months later, this thing's getting traction, and who is actually supposed to get all the money from this, or who's supposed to be able to sell it? That's where it's like, oh, maybe I don't love you so much anymore.
And it's a lot harder to work it out after you don't like each other as much anymore, and there's some friction in the relationship. So I say with this, anytime you're collaborating with someone and you're building something together, start out knowing who's going to own whatever that product is that you're building. And document it, have it in writing, sign it. And it's better for your relationship too. It's just clear that you're on the same page.
Yeah, so. From the beginning, when everyone's still singing Kumbaya.
Absolutely.
All right, so our fifth reason is not monitoring. And can you explain what that is? Because I think people might not even know that monitoring is a thing for their trademark.
I think that's true. So when you get a trademark, yay, you have it, right? But you have to do things to maintain that trademark and keep it viable over time. One thing you have to do is monitor your mark and make sure other people are not improperly using your mark or infringing on your mark. There are some self-help tools you can use, Google Talkwalker alerts, check the Patent and Trademark Office database periodically, at least once a quarter, to see new application filings. But you can also pay for that service, and it's like $300 or less a year.
That seems like a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And then you get a report every time a new application's filed. So that way you're monitoring what's coming down the pipeline and being aware of any problems. The other thing you have to do is you have to maintain your trademark. And basically there are periodic filings you have to make with the Patent and Trademark Office saying, hey, I'm still using my mark, still using it. And if you don't make those filings, your mark will be deemed abandoned and you no longer own the mark that you worked so hard to get.
I bet that happens a lot.
It does, all the time.
All right, so there you have it. That's our top 5 mistakes for startups with Trademark. Please take a look at Jen's website. She's got really great information on her website about Trademark. You can connect with us online, and we will be back for more videos.